Hey, welcome to Talking Hawks, the biggest, the baddest, the greatest fan-based Hawthorn supporter group podcast on the planet. How are you, Chris?
Fantastic, mate. Yeah, it's just a long year of footy when you're at the bottom of the ladder, but, you know, you just got to take the positives where they are. So
no, we have some things to look forward to, though.
Yes, there's lots to look forward to. We have a very long, talented injury list and a big draft coming up. So...
Yeah. So, mate, it was an interesting weekend. I enjoyed some parts of it, but I think the young blokes are getting tired.
Yep.
You can just see it. It's like, I mean, that game we pulled off against Melbourne was just euphoric. Like, it's the only time I've ever been happy with a draw. But this week was sort of like, yeah, you can see the young blokes are getting tired.
I think the thing was we set that expectation again. We play one good game. We think, all right, we're back. This is the expectation.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So I think that's the thing to take away from it. The difference now, we know we're capable of it, but doing it week in, week out is just not where we're at. So the difference is literally as wide as the screen between our worst and our best.
I thought you were going to say as wide as your head, mate. But, yeah, it's... It's a big distance too.
So, yeah, the teams that are in the 8, their worst is like, you know, here.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so that's it. We just got to make our worst performances a lot better and just be more consistent, and we'll see the improvement next year. Yeah,
I'm still happy. I wasn't bummed out that we lost it and thought, oh, we should have won it. I just thought, no, it's our year. And if anything, you know, the number one draft pick is within our reach. So I don't know how badly we want number 1 over 2, but it's I'm pretty happy about it.
And then that is the man. That is the man. Look up his name if you haven't seen his highlights. Very exciting talent. So one club is going to be a very lucky club who gets that man.
Oh, I'll have to look into him. I've never heard of him.
I'm not surprised. I'll send you some
mate. It's not like me. So, look, hey, before we get started, go down this rabbit hole any further, tag a mate and get them on the feed. Any of your Hawthorn mates, let's get them in there. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're here for the first time, we'd love you to earn your subscription. Thanks for joining us. We are on Facebook and YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page yet, please do. We'd love to have the followers there as well. We're looking to bump up the algorithm and get more exposure. So apparently the Carlton boys are beating us, and we can't have that, can we, Chris?
Come on, guys. Spread the word. Get the love across to the Hawks. Let's compete with Carlton offline.
Come on. I mean, Carlton has a lot to whinge about. We've got a lot to be excited about. So they're on what? 15th year
their expectations this year, we're going to be making the 8, and it's pleasurable to see them down with us.
It's great. Yeah, I kind of enjoy reveling in the misery of other teams. So it's good.
Unfortunately, Geelong is not one of them, but Richmond is. I'm so happy to see them on the borderline of not making finals.
I feel like Richmond's returning back to their natural habitat of 9th. I can see that happening this year.
It would be a nice feeling.
So, yeah. All right. Well, thanks, those. Yeah, make sure you tag your mates. Well done, Brett Lear. Appreciate that. You're a legend. And also, we want to know where you're watching from. So let's see. We've got a couple here. One of the faith, Brett Lear. G'day, guys from Durham County, UK. You legend. We love it. So, Yeah, mate. So we've got a few things to touch on tonight. How about we go straight to the last game? How did you think? What did you think of it?
Look, again, we talked about the expectations after our game against Melbourne. We thought this was probably a game we probably should have won. Even with our list is where it's at. They I think lost 4 in a row and won only 2 out of the last 13, something like that. So it was a game like with our momentum, I thought it would have been a good thing to win, get that winning culture again at the end of the season to take into next year. And yeah, it was a different team, really. Like, it was a fierce tackling team that we come out against Melbourne, and whether it was Adelaide's game plan or just us not rising to the occasion, I'm not sure. But yeah, it just didn't meet my expectations. There was plenty of positives to take out of it, but yeah, it was disappointing to lose, I think.
Yeah, Adelaide was good. I mean, you got to give them some credit too, I think. I mean, that I believe they outcoached us at the start with their game plan, and then Clarko, to his credit, adjusted the game plan, and then we got back on top. And it was just like, and I sort of had this feeling that we can take this home, and we should, because I do believe we're a better team. But I genuinely feel like these young blokes are just running out of energy, and they usually do at this time of year. So it was a bit disappointing, some of the plays that we had and our accuracy. And what's that old chestnut that Clarko usually says? He goes, "We lacked polish."
That is getting a bit old for me, and I don't know that we even have polish. Just to be harsh about it, because that's not the difference between winning and losing at the moment. Our polish, because we just don't have. I don't think we've had polish all year.
True.
And I think that's what we really need to recruit, whether it be maybe a draft pick being Adam Chera from Freo, who's, entered conversations this week. So he's one on the radar that we'd be keen to get. He's a great player and a good ball user, and that's what we need more of. Good ball users, especially inside 50.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. Our midfield is my biggest concern. So, and I love Tom Mitchell, but anytime he has the ball, he does these rainmaker kick and hope. And I don't know, our inside 50s were sufficient, and we had enough. We didn't, you could blame the forwards for not capitalizing on the inside 50s, but really the delivery inside 50 was subpar. And I do believe that's where Adelaide beat us, was on the quality of the entry into the 50 metres.
Yep,
and they were able to capitalise on that a lot better than what we were. So, so that was, to me, that it's still the midfield. If we can, our forward line is okay, but you can have, the second worst forward line in the game. But if you've got a dominant midfield, you're going to have 20 times more inside 50s and more abilities to score, and it goes from there. So that, in my opinion, is where we're missing it. We didn't get enough clearances. And we
did all right on the clearances this week. Sorry, just looking here. I did have it on my cheat sheet, but I haven't written it down. 40 versus 32. So we won the clearances. Centre clearance was 13 all, so that was a draw there.
Right.
So we actually won the clearances. We won the tap outs with Reeves and Big Boy.
Yeah.
Because they only went with Riley O'Brien. But it was the effectiveness of those clearances aren't good enough.
True. Yeah. No, that's a good point. It's a very good point.
Which comes down to that polish.
I'll tell you one guy who who I've fallen in love with, and I love it when this happens, when you get a new young bloke that just stands out, and that is Bramble. Holy cow.
Bramble. Amazing. Yep.
Oh, mate, he's so fast too. And it's like, he looks like he's a veteran who's been playing for 8 years. So to me, he is stunning, and I could not be more excited about seeing this young bloke coming through. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, from out of nowhere, really. He was playing local footy literally 12 months ago. So, yeah, for him to come on the way he has and looking like a 10-year player. So
yeah, do you know how old he is? Does anyone know how old he is?
Well, I'd like to say 21. He might be younger. Yep, throw it in the comments, guys. I'm sure you are on top of that. but yeah, he's just gone from strength to strength. And whereas Newcombe came in with a bang and sort of, just plateaued a little bit, whereas Bramble's just on that upward rise, and yeah, can't get enough of him.
Oh, it's very exciting. And do you know what's going on with Nukes? I mean, we haven't seen him for 3 weeks now.
Yeah, nothing I've heard. Maybe it is, like you said, the young kids just getting a bit tired. Whether I don't think they're just trying to rest him up. So I guess they're just thinking other players are ahead of him in selection at this point in time. He is named on the ins this week, so whether that's on the extended bench, so whether that's a spot on the bench or emergency this week. But yeah, would be nice to get another couple of games into him before the end of the year.
Indeed. Now, Freedom Patriot says, I love how Bramble holds onto the ball a little longer to draw a player closer to him and then release it, giving his teammate more time and space. Absolutely. And yeah, and that's if you can catch the guy. He's so bloody fast. It's so exciting to see a fast player on our team. We've been lacking
that footy knowledge of being able to draw a player, because players have to defend 2 players at one time, whether they go to the man with the ball or the man they're going to give it to. And it's a bit of a talent to be able to draw them well enough to give your teammate the space.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. Now, who stood out to you, Chris?
Look, I agree with you. Our midfield's lacking. Tom Mitchell had, I think, 29 maybe, very high on the handballs. But Jaeger, Worpel, and who else was in? But our mids, 20-plus possessions. I think Tommy got 9 tackles. Jaeger got 8. I think Worpel had 5. So it was really like their numbers stack up. Like we won the clearances. It was just the polish.
Yeah. Effective disposals, though. I'd love to see that.
Oh, I've got them on my cheat sheet in my bedroom. I'm sorry I didn't bring them to my computer. So they were all reasonable. I think they were in the 60s and 70s. I think one of them was around 50. I can't remember who. Might have. Yeah, I don't want to say names and name someone out. But reasonable, but just not cutting the mustard. So, and they've got to work both ways too. It's not just offensively, and I think that's where it hurt our backs this week. That the mids aren't being defensive enough to help the backs out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like the
Adelaide
footage.
Ball movement inside forward 50 was the difference in the game.
Yeah, and their accuracy helped them a lot too. So
yeah, there was a few times I'm thinking, surely they're going to start missing. They've got to start missing, and it just felt like everything was going in. But look, at the end of the day, I think we kicked 13 goals, 5 ourselves, so that was pretty accurate too. So there's no complaints there.
All right, mate. How about Moore? How did he stand out for you?
Moore's just he's had a quality season, and he was best on ground for mine. Haven't got his stats up. I think he had about 24 touches maybe, but just he had the polish, whereas other people didn't. So yeah, he's got a bright future for us, I think.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. So it's these young blokes are very exciting for me. Like I don't go into the games expecting to win. I expect us to be competitive. We were competitive against Adelaide, dropped off in the last quarter. And again, I still think I'm not making excuses for them, but I just think that the young blokes are getting tired as the years dragged on, and it's okay. But I'm like, oh, this is looking good for next year. And, I could be in denial like a Carlton supporter, but I'm genuinely feel like next year is going to be great. Depending on who we recruit, of course, if we do recruit anyone. So, mate, tell us about the back line, Chris. What do you think about that? Like, I know we've got a few out, but what do you feel we could do better?
Bit early for the injury list, but I'm going to go there now anyway. So looking at our injury list, we've got Will Day declared for the season now. He was a chance to return, but Hawthorn's just said, nah, let's put him on ice. Same with Jack Gunston and his back. That's just been a disaster, seriously. I don't know whether it was medical decisions, if he come back too early and he had a big setback. We're not getting the full story there. But so Will Day, Gunston out for the season. Arguably our 2 best players, almost.
Yeah, and Sicily.
Add Sicily. Jarman, Impey, and CJ, they're all out for the season. Get them 5 back in the team, and it's a totally different team, isn't it?
Oh, you bang on. Absolutely. You're spot on. It's funny how a kid who's played 14 games for you is so pivotal to your team. Like when he is playing Will Day, we are just such a much better team with him in, which is such a great testimony for a young bloke like him. His caliber is outstanding. So, and the guy must be bloody 68 kilos wet. Do you know what I mean? Like he's just this tiny little bloke. It's encouraging if you're scrawny out there and your son's scrawny. Don't you worry, he might be an elite footballer like Will Day.
I think the biggest question is he going to stay back? Is he going to push into a wing, or is he going to go into the midfield? Like all 3 are perfect, but which one's going to be the best for him throughout his career?
Yeah, it's true.
Potentially something that's going to be Sam Mitchell's. Whether Sam has that say next year with Clarko as their. It's good to put that one to bed, isn't it, Brad? I was sick of hearing about that. Caroline Wilson and everybody else.
Look, someone's going to be held accountable for this BS that's going out there too. I mean, that's just embarrassing, surely, for Caro to have everyone just fundamentally saying she is wrong, unequivocally saying she is wrong. It's like, I'm sorry, Caro, this isn't true. This didn't exist. Now, either all those people that come out from Hawthorn are lying, or Caro's or the media, was it Caro and Tom Brown, I think it was, were the ones who mentioned it. They're the ones who are, lying. So it's pretty ugly and it's nasty and vindictive. If it is.
At the end of the day, they're just trying to do their job. They're trying to get the bigger stories, and they've got to rely on their sources. I'm doing a lot of these tonight, but look, maybe the information they're getting's half truths, or they're exaggerating the truth. I don't know, but possibly things aren't squeaky clean at Hawthorn either, and they're just putting on a little bit of a show just to tidy it up. But at the end of the day, Sam came out, was pretty frank and honest, and then Clarko put his heart on his sleeve. So look, I believe what they say. As far as Jeff goes, there's lots of people who have opinions about him, but at the end of the day,
he's polarizing.
He's done very good things for the club over the years, and
absolutely,
nobody's perfect. So thank you, Jeff, for everything you've done.
Absolutely. No, look, it's nice that the noise has died down, and that whole thing about Caro saying Sam Mitchell should watch his back. That was, to me, was a bit perturbing. So I didn't like that at all. And it's not the club that we know, and it's certainly not the culture that we've been led to understand over the previous 15 years. So no, I'm glad that it's died down and it's gone away and it can stay there as far as I'm concerned. And I think we have the best club in the league in the history of the game. So I love it. They've handled it really well. Now, all right, mate. So let's talk about some of the others. So some of my favourites. How do you think Tim O'Brien went?
Yeah, I thought it was half decent game from him. I'd have to look at his stats, but just my general feeling was that he's earning his spot in the side. He's so flexible for us, and happy with his game. Yeah.
Okay. Again, if he could hold more of the marks, I think he would be one of the best players in the AFL. But if we've got anyone from the Hawks here, can somebody please teach him how to mark? That'd be wonderful. Hold the ball.
Bloody mark. It's just a matter of doing it regularly. I don't know. I think it's a mental thing, to be honest.
It's something. I don't know.
I think that's where the frustration is. We know he can do it, and some days they just stick, some days they don't. I can't explain it. Anyway.
Oh, mate, it's funny because we do a bit of banter.
We're harsh critics. We're the ones that watch it. We're not the ones out there doing it. So,
yeah, but come on, shouldn't you have some sort of expectation from a bloke who does that for a job?
Yes, you should.
I mean, you're a Sparky, right? So if you can't put a wall socket in properly, It's sort of like, well, mate, it's your job. It's what you're meant to be able to do. Yeah, I was having a bad week this week. It's like
there's
it doesn't work
different
that
quality
way.
of there's different quality of job that gets performed, but yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, and how about Hardigan? How do you think he's going?
It's a thing that where it's hard because we've got to put him on their best forward. Realistically, you could probably put Frost on their best forward, maybe sometimes, but I think he gets found out sometimes, and it's not always his fault. So he's been solid and he's filled a hole. I think he's got a contract for next year, so he's here. So let's just use him and make the most of it.
Yeah, and it gives us another year to plug that hole, right? To get the gorilla backman. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I've softened up a bit on him. I think he's a top bloke, but as a player, I'm like, I just don't know. He makes a few too many mistakes for my liking. But yeah, so Aaron Bradley's asking, where does Dan Howe fit in next year? Where do you sit with Dan Howe, mate?
Very good question, because I think Howe's almost had his best year at the club for mine. His number, I haven't even looked at his numbers, but I reckon his numbers would be career high as well. And he's not a Tim O'Brien, but he can play several positions, whether it be forward, back, or he's even played a bit of a wing role at times this year, I feel. So he's very handy to keep on the list, but we don't want to clog the list at the same time. I think.
Yeah.
Did I hear a rumor there might be some interest from outside clubs? I'm not sure.
Yeah, someone said that in the comments here. So I think I've lost it though.
Howe and
Swans?
Ollie Hanrahan, I think, was the other one. Oh, there you go.
True. I'd be okay with that. Personally, I'd love to get them both to 100 games and then trade.
I feel like Howe is, he's mediocre for us, but put him in a good team, and he could just elevate to the next level and really deliver for them. So I'd be happy for him if he found a new home and it worked for us. I'd love to keep him too. He's handy. Yeah,
I agree. I don't mind. He's a good filler, good 23rd player, as far as I'm concerned. So,
he's I guess he's one of the senior guys now, and he can be. We're lacking a lot of senior players at the moment, so he's one that can actually teach the kids coming through.
Yeah. And all right, so the next one I wanted to discuss was DGB. How do you think he's going? What's that, 4th game now?
4th game veteran, labelled by the commentator. I think it might have been Dermy. I think Dermy's a big fan. I think he had 7 disposals, and probably wasn't his best game, but I watch him a bit more closely, and it's been good being at the ground to watch him, because I've been watching him zone off, and he's often the one man out. It's the second, just covering the space, not directly an opponent. They rotate it. It's really interesting to watch. And to give him that responsibility so early is huge.
Yeah. It'd be tough for him, I reckon. I mean, I think there's a lot of expectations on him, and maybe he puts a lot of expectations on himself too.
I think
I feel like he's lost a little bit of confidence. It's only 4 games in, but I feel like he's lost that little. Remember his first game, the swagger on the man. I thought he was Dermy or Sicily coming out, and it's like it's sort of dropped off a bit. Maybe the coaches have given him a word or something, or I don't know. Maybe in his mind he's telling himself, "Oh, I need to peg it back a bit." But it's like, no, I love that cockiness and that swagger that he brought out in that first game, and unfortunately got concussed, had to miss the next game, and since he's been back, it's sort of like he's just not quite where he was in the first game. So it's like I'd love him to get his confidence back. In fact, I might text him and tell him
he'll get it. And like you said, we've met the guy, and he's just such a great personality, and he's just full of confidence. So I think we'll see a couple of good games at the end of the season. I think he's going to keep his spot on the side now, and like you said, his game may be average. His 4th game in to his career, but we all seen that chase down tackle. So look, that was the highlight of his game. I think he zoned off, had to chase, and got the tackle, got the turnover. got the possession back. Nice kick outside 50. So
yeah, I
we're going
agree.
to see that plenty more times over his career.
I
almost feel like his parent watching him, and it's like you freak out when he flies for the ball because he just goes hammer and tong and puts his body on the line, and it's like,
yeah.
But yeah,
He's such an impressive young
man.
man.
Endeavor, but it's scary at the same time.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, someone said this a few times. Thanks, Daniel. But I thought I'd put it up. But some of the viewers here believe that we need a bit more sparring. Some news coming out today. The AFL, sorry, have banned sparring.
Oh,
now
there you go. I didn't hear that one. Thanks for the comment, Daniel. Well, they took their time to make that decision, I think, but it's probably the right thing, I guess. I don't know. It is a very good fitness-based boxing, but maybe they're going to have to just do pad work and not spar each other now. I think I would have thought helmets might have been just enough to just maybe that was the discussion, whether it's helmets or call off sparring altogether.
To have one incident and then ban a particular training practice. Maybe there's been more incidents. I don't know.
It's like Gary Rowan's broken legs. One slide-in incident, and that's it. Nobody's allowed to slide in anymore.
Yeah. It's I don't know. We're a bit hyper-focused on safety, and you don't want it to end someone's career. And I understand where they're coming from, but it's sort of like, come on, guys. Next we're going to wrap them in bloody bubble wrap and send them out on the field. So it's a rugged, tough game. And yeah. All right. So want to hear from the viewers. Who stood out to you this week, positively or negatively? Love to hear your thoughts on that game against Adelaide. Now, Chris, do you feel we should have won that game?
I do. That was sort of my expectations. Like I said, I wanted to build momentum going into the end of the season, just to get that positive vibes within the group. But yeah, at the end of the day, you can't win them all. And yes,
you can.
Well, there's 18 teams, mate. 18 teams can't all win them all. So we are where we're at. Like I said, we've got some pretty decent injuries there. James Cousins out this week with the hammy. So talking about the ins this week. So that's potentially Harry Morrison is available finally this week. So he wasn't in the inclusions, is he? You got the inclusions?
Not sure, mate.
No. Sorry. So where are the inclusions? Greaves, McGuinness, Nash, and Newcombe, along with Tim O'Brien, Brockman, Burgoyne, and Cozzy on the bench. So yeah, I thought he might have been due for a call-up, but maybe they're giving him another week, maybe giving him a run at Box Hill this week.
Yeah, Finn was named, apparently.
Finn's named, yep. So that is good news.
Thanks,
whether, I don't know, Nash scares me because when they name Nash, he seems to get a game.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And we're obviously on, we love our boy Jai. We sponsor him. So we want to see Jai in. We want to see Finn get another go. So I just prefer they give it to the youth rather than Nash. Yep.
No, I hear you, mate. All right. Well, let's move along, shall we? Contract extensions.
Yes. Who have we got? We've got 2 years to Cozzy, was it? And 1 year to Jekka?
Yeah. I'm a bit surprised about Jekka, to be honest. Now, don't get me wrong. When I saw him play at Box Hill, I was smitten by him, as much as a man can platonically be smitten by anyone. But it's like I just don't know if he's cut out for AFL. I don't know for the top tier. I just don't know. Maybe they want to give him another year and see if it works.
It is only his first year, and maybe it is a wake-up call that he needed. I think he's realised the difference between VFL and AFL is significant, and he's going to have to try a bit harder to make it. So maybe I was thinking maybe Sam Mitchell is the one behind that decision, potentially. Go, let's give him another year. He either makes it or he doesn't.
Yeah.
At the end of next year, Sam has a decision whether to recontract him or cut him.
Yeah, and
I don't mind. I think he's got lots of potential, and he's not afraid to kick on his left and right. I've seen him at Box Hill and AFL. He's got skill. It's just whether he can put it all together.
Yeah,
it would help if he got better delivery, that polish into the forward line.
Now, our mate Freedom Patriot saying Finn is not really producing at Box Hill. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's honest, but it's hard because, I mean, they've been interrupted with the COVID season. They play a couple of weeks, then they're off for a couple of weeks, so it's been hard. Obviously, they've given him a few different roles this year, as in tagging and trying to push him into different areas of the ground. So
he's another player that I had high expectations on. And look, I think he can come good.
Yeah, I think he's got what it takes. We know he's got a big tank and he's a bit of a bull. So again, might be just one of those kids who takes just a little bit longer to develop. So we'll give him the time he needs. If we can squeeze a game or two into him this year, that'd be great. I'd love to see Saunders get a game. He wasn't named this week, but he's another one who, played decent at Box Hill and just hasn't got a look in yet.
Yeah. Hey, I wouldn't mind touching on this with you, Chris, and also with the viewers, if you got any thoughts. How do you feel next year is going to go with Mitchell sitting in the wings waiting to take over? I feel like they're going to respect each other in their positions, but do you think that Sam will be more involved in the day-to-day of the coaching in Clarko's last year?
Well, it is. It's just going to be a progression thing, I think. I think Clarko might... He's obviously open to having to share that responsibility, and they've obviously got slightly different ideas on progressing forward, but yeah, they've just got to find that middle ground. And yeah, like Sam said, if everybody agreed, it doesn't.
What's the point of having?
Yeah, you want improvement from people having different opinions and different ideas. So yeah, they'll work on it together, and 17-year relationship together or whatever they've had. They'll work through it, and like he said, he's there for the journey. He was there at the start, and he's going to be there for another 10, 15 years behind his back. So Clarko's got his back, and he'll help Sam the best way he sees fit.
I'd like to think that that's the case too, mate. I'm really curious as to what Clarko's going to do afterwards. Really curious.
I think Ruffy came out and actually said, I think it would be best for him to have a year off, recharge the batteries, and then I reckon he could have another 5 or 6 years at another club and have another tilt of the flag. If he doesn't have a year off, he might burn out and only have a few years left. And I kind of agree. It's a pretty taxing job year in, year out without having a break. So I would love to see that, whether he goes back to coaching or takes on a different role within the AFL or even another sport. His options are limitless as far as I'm concerned. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, which club would not sack their current coach and put him in?
I don't think it's just not even in his thought process right now. His thought process is just finish this year, plan for next year, and that the next phase is not even in his mind yet.
Yep. Yeah, I'd hate to see him at another club. Would hate it unless he went back to Melbourne or North Melbourne. One of his former teams, and there's a bit of a nostalgia and help one of those struggling, broken teams out.
And he might not be coach. It might just be some sort of general manager overseeing, helping out the coach.
Yeah, Clarko's he's too personality-wise, I think he's too high activity. He would have to be doing something.
Too much hands-on. You don't think he could step back that far?
No, I mean, it's nice to think, right? But he's still young.
Yep.
The man is young. And, to retire at this age, you go insane. So I just cannot see the man stepping away permanently from that and not leading as well, because he's a natural leader. He's high energy or high activity individual. I can't see him just stepping away, taking a year off. It all sounds very idealistic that that's what you're meant to do, and you go out to the big pasture and you're happy and live as a statesman.
There it is. Thanks, Scotty.
But I just can't see it happening. It's not in his personality. So that's my 2 cents. So anyway, all right, mate. Well, let's move along. I think we spent enough time on these things. So Peter Crimmins Medal is coming up as well. Let's see. So it's $249 per seat table of 10 to 12. We're looking for 8+ people who want to join the Talking Hawks team. So if you'd like to come along with Chris, Maddie, Reese, and myself to the Peter Crimmins Medal, we'd love to have you along. Who knows, maybe we can get some of these guys to fly out from the UK to join us. We'd love to have you there with us, or drive up from Wollongong, or but it's come join us.
Might cost a little bit more than $249 for those folks, but yeah, we'd love to have you with us. It's currently, obviously COVID affected, booked for the Saturday, the 2nd of October at 6:30 at Crown Palladium. We always have it at Crown, I believe. I haven't been for a few years, but great night. You get to, wine and dine and chat to the players. It's player auctions, memorabilia, bits and pieces. It's a good night, really good night.
Oh, and we get to raise money for the club as well. So, if we can, how we can support the club, we want to do it. So, you do get the pleasure of sitting with us, listening to us niggle each other a little bit too. So, we'll do our best.
I reckon we'll have a good night.
Yes, otherwise we'll have a great night. Sorry, Cozzy got 2 years, Jekka 1 year. So you were right about that.
I think, go to the Talking Hawks website, www.talkinghawks.com, and just send us a message, just PM us and let us know if you're interested in coming, and we'll be in contact with you.
Absolutely. All right, now let's get on to the big game coming up this week. We've got Brisbane. You looking forward to it, Chris?
Yes and no. My first instinct's like they're going to smash us, but then their form's been average. And we've seen what we did against Melbourne. We seem to step it up a notch when we play the better teams.
We do.
Down at Tassie, which is a bonus. And I think we might end up playing another game or two down in Tassie this year. So,
which is wonderful.
Our fortress, which is, not going the greatest at the moment, but it's good to be playing down there, and we're hoping maybe Jackson Callow might get a game before the end of the season at his home ground. But back to Brisbane. I think Brisbane lost. Who did they lose? They lost one of their main forwards, Eric Hipwood, I think, did his ACL. So they're sort of a little bit more one-dimensional with Joe Danaher now. So I'm guessing that'll be an interesting matchup if your boy Kyle Hardigan can step it up this week. Yeah, maybe Froster's the man to go to him. I'm not sure.
I put Frosty on.
Yeah, we matched Brisbane's midfield's pretty good, and we matched it with Melbourne's midfield. That's what kept us in the game. And then our midfield, even though individually they played well, it felt like Adelaide's midfield beat us. So I think, if we're a chance, it's got to be from the midfield again. And, it all depends how our forwards can deliver as well.
Yeah, look, I feel like we go up a notch when we play the better teams. Like, if you look at who we've lost, I mean, we've lost to everyone, right? But we've lost to the bottom teams. We lost to North. We lost to Adelaide. When Sydney was down there, we lost to them. So we tend to don't perform as well against bottom teams. We perform really well against top teams. So, I'd agree with that, Cody. I think they are gettable. But keep in mind, good teams don't lose twice in a row. Lions beat the Suns. They started off pretty poorly. I think they are gettable.
Suns were in front for nearly the first 3 quarters before Lions run away with it. So, they're not in the greatest form. And, we're a chance.
Yeah, and we seem to have this knack of playing teams into form as well. So helping them find their form again after they played us at the moment. They're gettable, but mate, my prediction is that Brisbane will win and win convincingly. I think it's coming to the pointy end of the year and they need to sharpen things up and they want to get in the 4. I suspect, and they never take Hawthorn for granted, ever. So they beat us down there in Tasmania last time as well. So I think that they're going to have a very comfortable win. Put it that way. I don't want them to, but I do think they will.
Yeah, that's sort of my first expectation. So, head versus your heart. So, and look, yeah, it's going to be another spot on the ladder we might climb. So, don't want to keep going on about that draft pick, but yeah,
we want it. Oh, look, I think we could always trade for number one. If number one's worth it, we could always trade for it. It's a player in our first round pick for theirs, and it's gettable even if we don't finish bottom. But the thing I love about this season, Chris, is that it doesn't matter who is playing. Anyone could win this season during any game, and that's what the AFL wanted on any given day. Any team can win, and they've got it. Look what we did to Melbourne. Look what North are doing. Adelaide's doing. They're competitive. It's a good season of football, and I'm really enjoying it. Even if we are second last, and even if we may finish on the bottom, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you're right. The ladder's normally sorted out by now, and it might be two teams going for the 8th spot. But right now, as we sit, I think as low as 12th or 13th can still make finals. So
it's stunning. It's staggering, isn't it?
And Bulldogs have won it from 7th. But look, the talk of the town is maybe the top 6 teams are the genuine ones. Just as long as Geelong don't win, please. The only positive out of Geelong winning a grand final is Isaac will get another flag.
Yeah, I don't want Geelong or Richmond to win. So I'd be happy with that. And let us know who you don't want to see win the grand final this year, because that's unfortunately the position we're in. Who do you not want to see win it? Let us know who do you want to see win it, other than us, of course. So
I'm on the Melbourne bandwagon. They've had some hard times, so it'd be nice to see them win one. And our boy Fags up at Brisbane. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not let them celebrate some success again? Because he's done a good job.
Brisbane is the one I want to have win it. I think the Bulldogs will win it.
And our boy Birchall's still at Lions.
Brisbane.
So, keep that Hawthorn assistant coaching record intact and win another flag.
Yeah, we're getting a few unsavoury comments about some opposition teams, which I can't post on here. So, but it's something along the lines if they don't like Geelong. And I'll let you use your imagination there. But Scotty Williams is saying Melbourne versus Dogs. It's looking that way. But I just I hate seeing Geelong up there. It sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and they're getting some players back too. So it's a scary thought that they can make their team better.
Yeah, Nick, we're probably going to boot you off this channel, mate. Sorry. We can't have stuff like that on here. I don't. That's blasphemous.
You know what? It would be it would be like the Bulldogs when they won from 7th. But if Sydney Swans could win it, that would be awesome. They've got a little bit of X factor, and they play a good brand of footy. I'd love to see them, and then delivers Buddy another flag if he doesn't get suspended or injured. True.
All right, mate. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. But before we go, just want to say, if you're not following us on YouTube, please follow us there. We're trying to get to 450 subscribers. We'd love your subscription there as well. So it's not that we're moving off Facebook. We just want to have that as our main platform going forward. So thanks for joining us tonight. And Chris, as always, it's wonderful chatting about the amazing Hawks. And look, I'm going for Brisbane to win by 6 goals. Where do you sit with that one, mate, before we head off?
My prediction, I don't want to go too close to you. Let's just go 4 goal, 24 points.
Brisbane win.
I'll take that as a decent performance by the Hawks.
Got it. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you here next week, hopefully with a win, even though I'm predicting a loss. But have a great week. And remember, if you want to come along to the Peter Crimmins with us, hit us up in the DMs and we'll try and organise a ticket for you. Thanks for joining us. Have a good one.
Cheers, guys. Go Hawks.